when you're 18 in Israel, the only thing that is on your mind, what is your military service is going to look like? And you want to find yourself doing the most meaningful military service because you really want to give to your country.
It's just such a crazy contrast between an 18-year-old in America versus an 18-year-old in Israel.
When they're chanting death to the IDF, they're basically saying death to every single Israeli that lived in Israel.
But if Israel wanted to actually commit a genocide, they could have done it on October 8th.
Yep.
They could have easily wiped out 2 million people in Gaza. I think Israeli women are way more prepared to be like amazing wives and amazing moms. In America, like especially a place like Miami, there's a lot of beautiful women. Not a lot of women that I think are like wifey material. What do you think is the biggest thing that Israeli men can learn from American men?
Oh my God, courtesy, like being chivalrous. They have zero chivalrousness inside of them in Israeli men. It's like...
What is up? Welcome back to the Jeremy Awakens podcast. I am so excited for this conversation because we have a very, very special guest in the building. We're recording from Tel Aviv, and today's guest is someone who really embodies courage, beauty, and truth. We have Noa Cochva, and Noa is a former Miss Universe Israel, an IDF combat medic, and now one of the most powerful voices advocating for Israel on the global stage. She's used her platform not just to shine, but to stand up for her people during one of the most challenging moments in modern Jewish history. In this conversation, we dive deep into her journey from the spotlight of Miss Universe to the battlefield as a medic to the front lines of advocacy as antisemitism continues to rise worldwide. We're going to talk about some of the biggest lies being spread about Israel, her personal experiences living both in Israel and abroad. And yes, we're even going to talk about what the differences are between men and women in America and Israel. This is something I'm very excited to talk to you about. Noa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, really grateful to make this happen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to start off going back to you being 17. 18 years old, right? Because I think a lot of people in America and around the world don't really understand what the life is like for a typical Israeli, especially an Israeli woman. Like a lot of things being spread about the IDF, like the military here.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that every single person, man or woman, is required to serve their country and defend this homeland. Yeah. So I want to just go back in time. Your last year in high school, you're 17, 18. What is that process like for you?
So basically every Israeli that is reaching to the age of 18 really have to get enlisted. Doesn't matter if you're a woman, a man, do you want to get enlisted? You don't want to get enlisted? You have to. It's mandatory. I remember myself, I was born, unfortunately, with a lot of health issues. So the military wanted to give me, because when you get enlisted to the military, they like classify you based on your like medical, what can you do, what you can't do. Right. But I went to into a big fight with the military because I got one of the lowest profiles. But I grew up with like a military family. My dad served for 40 years, my mom for 16. So to me, the value of the military is like the best thing ever. So I really wanted to do a very meaningful service. So when I was 17, I think it was 17 and a half even, I remember myself calling every single day to fight with the secretaries there and to ask them to give me, because I wanted to be a combat medic. And in order to be a combat medic and not just a regular medic in the clinic, you have to have a better profile. So I remember myself going to like 10 doctors to prove that I'm okay, that I'm qualified. And it took me like 6 months, but I was able to have a better profile. And then when I turned 18, I got enlisted. And I remember myself so proud of myself because I can do whatever the other people that can do, even though I was born with a lot of health problems. So it's nice.
I want to dive deeper into some of those health problems too, because I don't think I've heard you talk about that. But it's just such a crazy contrast between an 18-year-old in America versus an 18-year-old in Israel.
Yeah, because when you're 18 in Israel, the only thing that is on your mind, what is your military service is going to look like. And you want to find yourself in doing the most meaningful military service because you really want to give to your country. You really want to have the best 2 or 2.8 years of your life because you know that it's the right time. It's the time for you to give back to the country that you love so much and that you've given so much, and the country that gave you so much. So,
And then on the contrast, like an 18-year-old in America,
yeah.
they're literally going to college for 4
Yeah.
years.
Partying. The red cups, I remember from all of the movies, American movies. They
Yeah,
always
like
party with
beer
red
pong,
cups.
flip cup. And it's crazy. And that's why I think it's so important, honestly. Like after high school, I was telling you I did a gap year where I came to Israel for 9 months. And I think that's so important. I wish more Jewish Americans would do that to just gain perspective. Because when you come here, like you really have a whole new appreciation for life. And I think that's lacking. We're lacking perspective. We're very spoiled in America in some ways. I'm curious to know, what are your thoughts on some of the people who like try to get out of serving in the military? Because that also seems to be something I've noticed. Like there's people that will like go out of their way, just like you went out of your way to become the role you had. Like there's people that'll go to that energy and effort to get out of it.
Yeah, so it's a very complex situation in Israel. I personally think that there are amount of people that are not, they cannot serve in the military because the military is a very demanding place. But at the same time, in Israel, you can do the opposite and you can decide not to go to the military. There's a lot of girls, religious girls, that instead of going to the military, they go to do shirut leumi. They basically choose 2 years. For example, when I was a sick child, I had a lot of girls, religious girls, that instead of going to the military, they chose a nonprofit that helped to children with cancer, that helped to children with men with health problems, and they went to the hospital and they helped their parents because the parents, when you're a sick child, they can't stay with you all the time on your bed, so they basically replaced your parents, and that's a really meaningful thing to do. So if you can't because you're religious or because that you feel like you're incapable of joining the military, there are some people, but instead you can choose and spend this time in actually volunteering and helping Israel because there's a lot of like separate places that you can do that. But if you're just choosing to skip the military and try to find the best way to get out of the military because you're spoiled, you don't want to join the military, or you just don't want to do it, that's not okay because every single person in Israel serves. So if I gave my 2 years for my life and my neighbor gave his time, my sister, my brother, every single person that I know gave his time to the military, so I feel like it's only fair that every single person will do his part because our soldiers are sacrificing their life and they're dying in the battlefield in order to protect this country. So the least that people can do is to do their military. They don't have to be a combat soldiers. They can do, because the military is like a very big machine. And there's a sentence in Hebrew that says, "Boreg b'mechona." It's like one screw. I don't know if it's a good English translation, but it's like one screw that helped the entire machine work. So even the cook on the field helps. Even the girl that picking up phones for the commander, that's amazing. It's an amazing thing to do because she's still doing her job. And people, there's so many. There's really like the military is so diverse in the roles that you can have. So every person can find his place there.
Do you feel like the time in the military really gave you the skill set and discipline
of course.
for whatever else you conquer in life? Like right now, you're fighting a different type of war.
Yeah.
Right? Like with your advocacy and speaking truth and reaching the masses that way. And that is absolutely necessary right now.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a lack of that within our community. So how do you feel like those years in the military just set you up for the rest of your life?
So it's funny because I was a very, very shy girl. I couldn't even speak to people when I was in high school. I couldn't, for example, like if we were now and I was like 16 years old, I couldn't look you in the eyes. I was having like severe social anxiety. People from my high school, when I won Miss Israel, they were like, "Whoa, this is so crazy. You were never even."
Yeah.
I wasn't really popular or anything.
Were you insecure?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I was really insecure. And my military role was basically to be a commander. And when you are a commander, you have to command and speak with 16 guys or with 16 girls, and you have to
crazy.
basically stand in front of them and tell them what they're going to do and how they're going to study. And when I was a commander that basically taught them how to be a medic, so I need to teach them. So I was basically like a teacher. So all of a sudden, me, the shy girl, standing in front of a classroom and teaching people how to be medic and teaching them about the military even. And it's something that really the military has helped me so much to get over my social anxiety, because it doesn't really ask you. It just like put you in the cold water and shake you up and said, you have to do that because this is your role. So it just has shaped me in so many ways. But it's like more than that. All of a sudden, as an 18 years old, you have been given a weapon. You need to learn, first of all, how to shoot the weapon. But more than that, how to keep it secure at your house. So you're so much more responsible than you were before. Or when you're in charge of 16 people. So I was in charge to these soldiers. So all of a sudden, once again, you have so much responsibility in your hands, and you're only 18, but they listen to you because you're your commander. So the military, I feel like every person that walks into the military on the first day, and when he gets out of the military, it's just like the better version of you, that some people will only reach that when they're like 30 plus. But because it's 2 years that are very, very intense, so it's basically like, it's very like awakening for you.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. I have one of my close friends here, Yehuda. He was born in America, but he made Aliyah like 7-8 years ago, served in the army.
Amazing.
And he like got called back from Elohim, and he thought he was done like a month ago. It turns out with this new mission they're going on, he's going back to Gaza September 7th. And he's 26 at this point. And I know one of the concerns he has is like this feeling that he's behind. Because it's like in America, you graduate college at 22.
That's
and then
something I feel all the time.
And then you go and you get a job and you start your career. And what I tell him every time is like, I'm like, bro, you're still so young. The skills that you've learned,
nobody can teach you that in America.
You're going to be able to apply that to every other aspect of your life. And like, so many people get stressed during chaotic situations. They let their emotions get the best of them. With someone like him, someone like you, it's like you've seen the most chaotic situations in the world. Like if there's a challenge in business, right, or a certain relationship, you're going to be fine. You're going to handle yourself with grace.
But it's actually a really interesting thing that you said, because it's something that not a lot of people really comprehends. At 18, we are giving 2 years of our life to the military. At 18, a person goes to college, and then he gets his first job, and then he gets his second job. And in Israel, because after you finish a very meaningful service, you need to take 1 year for yourself to adjust it and to understand what you've experienced and to compress it, everything. So a lot of Israelis, after the military, they go away for like 1 year, and they go to travel, and they go there because it's the first time after 21 years that you're finally on your own. You don't have any school or military or commander. So it's not only the gap between the military, it's the gap between until you get your life together in Israel. It takes a lot of time. And then when you can start your degree when you're 26. You start to learn your first degree, and then you get your first job at 30 plus. So it is a lot of stress for us, but at the same time, I feel like sometimes when I speak to people in America, for example, both my best friends are 32. Because I feel like I have so many more things to talk about them with
They're
them.
Americans.
They're Americans,
Got it.
My American best friends. They're 32 because it's easier.
Yeah, and this is something that I definitely want to touch base on, like American women and Israeli women, because there's such a massive difference. Like it's insane.
I want to know, but also from your perspective as an American Jew that has been living now in Israel for the past 2 months. So how do you see it?
Yeah. Well, So before we touch on that, I want to, just because we're on the topic of military and IDF, obviously a couple months ago, that video goes viral of Bob Villain, right? And at this music festival in England, everyone just chanting death, death to the IDF. And that video got me so upset.
Oh my God. Yes.
Because when you are in Israel, you realize that literally every single person is either in the IDF, was in the IDF, or is going to be in the IDF.
Exactly.
These are like our brothers, our sisters, our sons, our daughters. And it's devastating to hear millions of people support this message.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to have you here. Because it's like, do you understand what you're saying?
They don't. They really don't. And to me, it's like even more hypocrite from their end, because they're basically, their entire agenda is that Israel is committing a genocide, right? So to them, Israel is killing so many people. But when they're chanting death to the IDF, they're basically saying death to every single Israeli that lived in Israel or that have been in the military. So they're basically, what they're saying, if you're cleaning the words, death to every Israeli. Death to every Israeli, it's an ethnic, it's a basically a group, and you're basically committing a genocide, because this is the definition of a genocide. So they're basically saying, oh, we want to kill all of the Israelis, but we hate Israel because we think that they are committing a genocide. So it's the most hypocrisy I've ever seen in my life. So it's like, because they really don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah. And the reality of the situation is, and again, not saying that I would support this by any means, but if Israel wanted to actually commit a genocide, they could have done it on October 8th.
Yep.
They could have easily wiped out 2 million people in Gaza.
Easily. This is what people don't understand. We have all the power to delete Gaza, but we will never do that also, because in the military, if you look at the values of the military, the value of life comes first, because this is the most humanitarian military in the world. And people don't understand that. We value the life of our enemy even, because the value of life, it doesn't matter if you're Israeli, if you're Arabic, if you're not even related to Israel, we value your life more than anything. This is why we will never do something like this. And this is why also, as a combat medic, I was saving the life of Palestinians. I was saving the lives of Hamas terrorists that got injured inside of Gaza, because I value life. And when every combat medic takes an oath, I remember when I was a commander, I used to take this oath again and again with every curse that ended the period of time that they were with me. We take an oath together, and we're saying, I can read it right now if you want. We're basically saying that we are swearing to save the life of every person, no matter if it's your loved one or if it's your enemy, because we value life, and the value of life comes first.
That's the biggest fundamental difference between Israel.
And our enemies will never do that.
Exactly. And that's the biggest fundamental between Israel and Hamas and all of the proxies of Hamas, Iran, the Houthis, Hezbollah, is Israel values human life as their top priority. Right? Hamas is literally willing to use their own children as human shields.
Exactly.
They're even willing to use food as a weapon of war. Because all this food's being delivered to them.
But they're just not supplying it.
And that's exactly why they've been successful in winning the war of PR and social media, is because they've literally used their own civilians as pawns. And that's what's so devastating. And the fact that so many people are actually falling for that is insane.
It's insane.
And I think the fact that you were like treating a terrorist and trying to...
And more than that, this terrorist that I treated, the first one that I treated, I will never forget that. Because we got the call and we're going to the border of Gaza. We don't know it's a terrorist. We don't know what's going to happen there. And then we see that from the one hand, it's a soldier that the terrorist shot. But then we need to treat the terrorist because the soldier obviously shot him back because he was shooting at him. Like in America, if somebody shoots you, I think you're allowed to shoot back. There's like a rule. Self-defense. So it's more than that. It's in war zone, and we are taking the terrorist to treat him. And I remember I was wrapping his wounds, and we were driving him to the hospital to get medical treatment. So it's, how can you say that this is genocide if I am putting my time and energy, and it's hard for me also as an Israeli to treat a terrorist that I don't know if he butchered and killed and murdered, and maybe he raped people on October 7th. So for me as an Israeli, why would I do that, all of these things, and treat a terrorist? Why would I do that? Because I value life, because my military told me that I need to save every person's life. So I did that because I really believe in that message.
Did you ever have a conversation with them?
Not really, because first of all, they speak Arabic and I don't. And we are not allowed to speak to them. We're just there as a pawn to save their life.
That's insane.
With the soldiers, we do speak because
that's another crazy thing too, right? Is all of this whole massive Free Palestine movement that has taken the world by storm the last 18 months. It's like, if those people actually comprehended the situation, they would realize that Israel is doing more to free the Palestinian people
than Hamas,
than their own leadership is.
Yep.
Because if you remove Hamas, then there's actually the potential maybe somewhere down the road, if there's actually leadership that's willing to take over, that doesn't want to destroy Israel, that's actually willing to be peaceful and coexist, you would realize like, oh, wow, Israel's actually doing more to create a free Palestine. And you should be saying free Palestine from Hamas.
Yeah, I wish more people would say that, but they don't, because they don't really. Most of these people have never even been to the Middle East. So they're just screaming fake headlines that they see on TikTok, on Instagram. So they don't really know and they don't really understand.
That's another massive issue that there is, right? 99.9% of the people that are blaming Israel and just spewing all of this hate online are people that have never even come close to setting foot in the Middle East, including Dave Smith, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, these people that are just spewing lies. For instance, like Candace Owens was talking about how Israel's an apartheid state. And she's like, yeah, if you go to Jerusalem, they have an Arab quarter, a Jewish quarter, a Christian quarter, an Armenian quarter. And like, you know, if you're Muslim, you can't come to the Jewish quarter. I was like, no, that's completely false. If you've been to the old city in Jerusalem, you would know that there's Christians in the Jewish quarter, there's Jews in the Muslim quarter. Like, they're all mixed together. Yeah,
and they all live in coexistence. And more than that, I wish these people were open-minded to actually come and see for themselves. Because I think it's okay to have an opinion, but it's also, if you have an opinion, you have to really explore, especially if you're commenting and using your force in social media to say so many awful things about a country that you've never been to. At least have the courage to come and check for yourself and see if you're actually speaking the truth. Because it's okay if you have an opinion, but if you haven't based your opinion on your experiences or on real facts, or have actually spoken to an Israeli person in your life, how can you even comment all of these things if you've never been to Israel? So I wish all of these people would just come to Israel. I'll be their tour guide if they want. I don't care.
We can maybe set that up. It's really unfortunate that most of them will never come.
Yeah. Because they're afraid, I think, to also see the truth.
They're afraid to be proven wrong.
Yeah, they will not have anything to say to fight everything that they will see, because they will actually come here and they will see that people here live together, coexistency with everybody, and they will not have any way to comment on that.
There's literally a mosque in the center of Tel Aviv. Like, how can Israel be an apartheid state?
Yeah, more than that. It's like, if you look at the signs of the road, it's written in Arabic, Hebrew, and English. So how is this an apartheid state if Arabic is a formal language here in Israel? How is this an apartheid state?
Well, it's interesting too, because Israel's over 20% Arab.
Yeah.
Right? But not only are 20% of the population Arab, these Arabs have way more rights in Israel than they would ever have in their home country.
And most of them will never want to go back to their home country, because they are getting so much here. They can go, first of all, they're in the Knesset, they are in the parliament, basically. They serve as judges. They, I don't know how to say it in English, but if they want to get into school, for example, university, they don't do the military, so they have more time to prepare themselves. But at the same time, they have seats waiting for them, because they will be getting, I don't know, I wish I would say it in English. It's like אפליה מתקנת.
Try it. What is it?
אפליה מתקנת. Aflaya. Aleph, Pei, Lamed, Yud, Hey.
I'm not going to ask ChatGPT right now, but
How do you say it?
it's something with...
It's like when you are, doesn't matter if you're good or bad in school,
Okay.
the Arab will get your place. Because
Really? Oh, you know what they call that in America?
How do you call it?
They call it racial profiling.
Yes, this, I hope. So basically, if you will look, you can check this online. They have like waiting seats for them because they have to have
A certain number
a certain
of those.
number. Because,
It's actually reverse racism almost
yeah.
in America.
Because I think that if you go to medical school, you want to choose the best people based on their grades, not based on their ethnic agenda.
And that's something big that happened in America recently. I don't know if you were aware of this, but it was like this whole DEI. This whole DEI thing with like Biden and Kamala Harris. It was all about equity and inclusion. So it was like, okay, we need to have a certain number of women, a certain number of black people, a certain number of transgender people, right? It's like, no, like...
If somebody's good enough for the job, you should just take him.
And there's literally planes that were crashing.
Really?
And they found out like they hired these pilots based on DEI, not based on who's the best pilot. And it's like, listen, I don't give a fuck if you're black, if you're Muslim, if you're Jewish, if you're a woman. Like, I just want the best pilot. I want the best doctor. Like, I don't care. I just care about your qualifications, your ability to actually do the job at a high level. So this DEI stuff like took over America, and it got to the point where it went so far, the planes were crashing, all this crazy shit was happening, that Trump came in, he's like, we're removing all of this DEI stuff. Like, you should hire the person who is best for the job. End of story. Like, very simple. So it's interesting, right? Because we were just talking, you have Arabs all over Israel, especially in places like Jaffa, Jerusalem, Haifa, right? And a majority of these Arabs love living in Israel. There's a reason why they're here.
Yeah.
But if you tried to take one of us, if we tried going to Lebanon, if we tried going to Egypt, if we tried going to Yemen, if we tried going to Iran, Syria, even like Turkey, right? Like these Muslim countries, first of all, as an Israeli, you wouldn't even be allowed to get in there.
Never be allowed. There's 0 Jews now there.
Exactly. But even if I went in and I like wore my Magen David, which I obviously would do, like my life would potentially be at risk.
Yeah.
And I think there just needs to be more of that conversation happening.
Yeah.
People are oblivious. They don't understand the truth.
They really don't understand it, because how is it even make any sense to them that so many Arab people are living in Israel, peaceful life, and they love their life here. But outside of Israel, it's not a democracy. Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East. So they have full rights here. They can vote. They can go to work at whatever they want. They will get help. So it's like actually insane.
You know what's also insane, actually, that I'm thinking of? Is, by the way, you know what's funny?
What?
Is when Israelis say the word actually.
It sounds like actually. I know.
It's amazing. I fucking love it.
I know. People tell me this all the time.
It's my favorite thing ever. Okay, so a question I do have, though, is where are the Muslim people at? Because there's 2 billion Muslims in the world. Over 100 million of those are part of the Muslim Brotherhood, which is supporting like radical Islam, right? Compare that to the Jewish population. There's 15 million Jews worldwide, 0.2% of the world's population. So there's a lot of Muslims that aren't extreme, that don't support Hamas, that don't support radical agendas to annihilate the Jewish people, right? I haven't heard any of those people speak up.
There's not like a same voice of a Muslim person, I think, that is not radical or crazy or saying lies up about Israel. There isn't. I haven't even, maybe because my algorithm is broken, but if it's me, it's also every other person.
I mean, and the reason is because those Muslims, those, let's just say, peaceful Muslims, right? They know that they would be torn apart by the radical Muslims, the radical Islamic jihadists, if they did, God forbid, say something against Hamas. And that just goes, again, talking about the difference between Israel and these other people that we're navigating is like there's protests in Israel against the government because it's a democracy.
Yeah,
There's
they're
freedom of
allowed to go to the
speech.
street and do whatever they want.
It's insane. Like, it's crazy. I'm
Yeah.
curious to know, like, because you have been called all these names,
Yeah.
right? And we haven't even talked about you being Miss Israel and stuff like that. But you've been called Miss Baby Killer. You've been called Miss Genocide. How have you been able to navigate all of that, like emotionally? How have you been able to just stay positive throughout everything?
Obviously, in the beginning, when I just started to get these threats, I couldn't really handle this until I came to a realization that these people, they don't hate me as an individual. They don't hate me as an individual at all. They don't know who I am. They know maybe my name. They don't know what I like to eat the most. They don't know what's my favorite song. They don't know what my personality is. They hate the idea of me. They don't hate me, the individual, Noah. And because they hate the idea of me, so it doesn't matter if I'll be a completely different person. If I'll say the exact same things that I'm saying, they will still hate me. So they don't hate me, they hate the idea of me. But for them, my idea or like me, this is why they hate me, because not only I speak up for Israel, but I was also a soldier in the IDF and I was Miss Israel, so I was representing Israel. But for them, it's basically the anti everything that they are saying, because they are seeing that Israel not only exists and we have women in the military, we have women in Miss Universe, we have strong women speaking up and using their voice, while their women are being oppressed and can't even wear their hair down without getting beaten up. And for them, it's not only that Israel is existing, is Israel is thriving, because Israeli girls are doing whatever they want. So it's not only that they hate me for speaking up, they hate the idea of me because I'm showing them that this is the reality of Israeli women. We are capable of doing whatever we want, and this is exactly why they hate us.
It's a good transition to talk about Israeli women. You set that up
I
very
set that
nicely.
up. I did.
Can you get some B-roll with the phone? Cool. Vertical. Wow. Okay, so listen. Oh my gosh. So when I came here last year, I was here last year for like 6 weeks, and I was in a relationship at the time. So like my partner was here with me for some of it. So obviously it was like a different situation. I came here and like one of my main intentions was like, I just want to feel more free. Like there's nothing blocking me from experiencing the magic of Israel, all of it.
The culture and everything.
Exactly. So we'll talk about, I mean, easily, I don't even think it's close. I've been to over 35, 40 countries at this point. Israeli women are by far the most beautiful women in the world for multiple reasons. All right, let's talk first, like physically. Okay, they don't need to wear a lot of makeup to look beautiful. Okay, that already shows me like they're more confident in their skin. Okay, number two, you go to America and it's very normal for girls in Miami to have fake asses, lip injections. Now, I'm not one to judge. It's your body, do whatever you want. But in Israel, like the women are so much more natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I understand exactly what you mean.
they have this glow about them that is indescribable. Like it's this radiance of like pure natural beauty. Okay? And I think that comes from an internal beauty of like, I'm confident with who I am. I've served in the military. I've seen a lot of crazy shit. I've overcome a lot of challenges, right? And I'm really confident in who I am as a woman.
Yeah.
And I think all of that combined is why Israeli women are just like a different breed. And then you talk about like the emotional capacity, the emotional intelligence of Israeli women and maturity and spiritual growth is like on a whole different level compared to Americans. And I'm sure you've probably experienced this.
Yeah.
Like you said, your best American girlfriends are like in their 30s.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that, because it's probably hard for you to connect to some of the American girls who are 25 and 26.
It is.
especially if they're like jappy, which I'm sure you know.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
I know.
And there's also a lack of entitlement here, which I really appreciate. For instance, I can go on a date with a girl in Miami, take her to a beautiful restaurant. The bill is like $600 or $700, right? No problem. I'm happy to like treat you to an amazing experience. At the end of the night, maybe we'll get a thank you. Maybe, right? There's a lack of gratitude because a lot of these women have just been exposed to way too much. There's dudes taking them to the Louis Vuitton and Gucci store and dropping $20,000 on them on their second date. In Israel, like, I just go the extra mile. I'm like, can I order you a get to meet me at the restaurant? Like,
Yeah, we appreciate everything way more.
like really these little things. And the girls that I've connected with have been so grateful. Like there's more appreciation. And I love that because it makes me want to do more like just nice things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's so many fundamental differences. I think Israeli women are way more prepared to be like amazing wives and amazing moms. In America, like especially a place like Miami, there's a lot of beautiful women. Not a lot of women that I think are like wifey material.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't been enough in Miami to like explore that, but I'll let you know. But I feel like it also has a lot to do with the surrounding. To live in Israel, you're basically living in a constant threat for your life. So you're basically, when you're born, you know, when you're 5, maybe they're doing like, they teach you in the kindergarten, they teach you at school, where do you go when there's a rocket siren? You do like these drills all the time. So it's like something that is, I think it's in our mentality. It's about like, it doesn't really matter. Like, oh my God, my lips are not too big. This is not too, I feel like because we've like have different perspective about life and we see that some things are not a big deal. And especially like after October 7th, a lot of people had just had like a crazy realizations about the real things that are important for you in your life. And like it's something that, for example, you can control so many stress things in your life. You can love yourself for real because it's something that you are able to control of. You can't control if a terrorist is coming to your house and shooting at you because it's them. You can't control your health because it's God. But you can control if you love yourself. You can control your self-esteem because it's something that you can do that. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not, but I've been through that. It takes a lot of work, a lot of effort to really learn to love yourself. But it's something you can control of. It's like stress that is around your capacity to understand how and you want to work on. So when you have like these two things like in front of you, it's like a mirror. You just see them and you understand that nothing really matters. Only if you're healthy, you have a loving family. And that's something that we've seen a lot because our hostages are not home. And every single day we think about it. They're not home. They're not with their families. So you go home, you see your mom, say thank you. So it's like for us, you appreciate like the tiniest things in life. You appreciate if you can call right now to your dad. You appreciate. So it's like you spoke a lot about appreciation. It's exactly because of that. Because when you can do the tiniest things, for us, it's really everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things that's actually continuing to talk about this, just finishing this point with like Israeli women. Another thing I really appreciate, and it's really just about people in general here, is like they're so much more real and authentic. Like I consider myself to be like a very open, authentic person. Like I'm not playing games. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
You know, some people are gonna like it, some people aren't. That's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like here it's much easier to just connect with someone in a more real and deeper way. Like no one's here to just play games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's because we also like there's this word tachles. We just like we don't want to like go like above and beyond and to speak about something that is not real because we don't have time. Like we just need to get to the point and not right now. And if you're not in that point, it was nice to meet you.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is, so I dated an Israeli girl in Miami. who I think she moved there like right after the war. But what happened again is like you take an Israeli
Yeah.
who has like so much culture, like a beautiful upbringing, and then you put her in a place like Miami, and it can change someone,
Yeah.
which is kind of sad to see. I've seen that happen with like a few Israeli girls. Is like they get consumed, and it's not to say like enjoy the boats, enjoy the clubs, enjoy the nice dinners,
Yeah.
but like don't forget your roots. Don't forget what makes you so unique and special.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
but do they like, I feel like, because like with Israelis, they're always like, it's always about like you have Shabbat, you have like time to think for yourself. You have like, they always like stay connected, even if it's like fake materialistic things. So I feel like their souls or like their insides are really like still connected to Israel with like, there's no way, for example, that these girls probably, they will not go to a Shabbat dinner or like they would not do something
Yeah,
around Friday.
I think that's true.
So this is also something that can be like, oh wait, so she can be a good mom because she remembers Shabbat. Doesn't matter if she's going to crazy boat parties. So it's like the little things that will still always be in her mind because she grew up here and she know the meaning of having your family on Shabbat on time and having a family meal with your entire relatives. So it's like the little things that will always keep you grounded.
Yeah, that's true. Israeli women are also fire cooks, especially like the ones that have like the
Yeah.
Moroccan Yemenite vibe.
Yeah, so I'm Tripoli. So I
Oh, you
love to
are?
cook. Yes, I am. I am. My grandma was born in a ghetto in Libya. And as a baby, she was a baby in the ghetto. And then when she came to Israel, she was the cook since she was like 10 or something. She's been cooking. She has been cooking. She passed away, unfortunately, like 5 years ago. But she taught me everything I know, and she's the best. And I really miss her, obviously. But I cook every Friday chaime, which is very, very spicy fish with like red sauce, because this is something that my entire life I was eating the same meal every single Friday because it's like very traditional. So everyone cooks here, I feel like.
That's
it's really
amazing.
funny because if you go into like an American person and you open his fridge,
Yeah.
there's no ingredients. There's like a bottle of sparkling water,
Right.
like per year or something, or maybe like a beer or something. There's no ingredients. You will never find like tomatoes and onions and like spices.
Yeah.
What is
like
going
flavor,
on?
the flavor here. And that's
Yeah.
another thing. There's no bad food here.
There's
like,
no bad food.
You can't survive and stay in business if you're not
Yeah.
a good restaurant in Tel Aviv, especially.
Yeah.
Like even yesterday, I went to this shawarma place. Unbelievable.
Everything is amazing.
And it's so healthy. Like in America, over 40% of the population's obese.
Oh my
Over
God.
70% is overweight. And
70% are overweight.
overweight. Now you might not see that in like New York
New
City
York,
because
because everybody's like,
and they're walking, they're more health conscious. Same thing in Miami, LA, right? There's those types of places where they're the exception. But if you go to a place like Indiana or Mississippi or Alabama, right?
now I want to go.
you'll see like, whoa, these people are fat. They
my
are
God.
unhealthy, right? Israel, what's so amazing is like there's very few fat people. And I think a big reason for that is the food quality is so much higher than America. People are walking, they're being
Yeah.
active. Like they're not necessarily going to the gym for 2 hours a day, but they're getting outside.
Yeah, they're walking all the time, everywhere.
They're playing sports, they're playing makot. Like
Yes.
they're just living life.
Yeah. And also the vegetables here are so good, so you can just eat them as a snack instead of actual snacks. So it's like everything here is so good quality, like cherry tomatoes. I think like every person just like to like have like a check mark
Yeah.
has to come to Israel to eat Israeli cherry tomatoes and Israeli
really?
cottage cheese. Like it's like a must thing before you die. Every person have to come here. It's so good and so different.
Okay.
Because I know because now I've been like 5 months in America, and whenever I buy cherry tomatoes, it's not the same.
That must be a tough adjustment for you in America.
Oh, you have no idea. It's really bad.
Like
It's really bad. I bring my spices from Israel.
You know, it's also something I'm realizing, and I was thinking about this like yesterday or a couple days ago, is that you don't see a lot of people in Israel, like teenagers even, that have acne.
Really?
Like, not compared to America. Like, I used to have horrible acne, but like most teenagers at some point
That's really
in
interesting.
America
Maybe because
have.
they get a lot of sunlight.
No,
Also,
I think the Mediterranean has something to do with it for sure. But I think a big reason why a lot of American teenagers have acne is because of the nutrition.
yeah,
Like the foods are blasted with chemicals, right? We're putting things on our skin that we're not even sure what they are. A lot of the soil has glyphosate in it, which is like this really harmful chemical. And the dairy in America is horrible because they treat the cows with all these hormones.
yeah.
And then in Israel, I'm eating cheese every day. Like,
Yeah.
no issue. In America, I can't eat cheese.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I
Whoa.
get stomach issues. I break out on my skin.
And here everything is better.
In Israel, I eat everything.
Also,
I eat
the
bread.
meat here,
Oh,
all of the meat here is kosher slaughter. And with kosher slaughter is basically you drain all the blood and you check that there's no parasites. So it's really, really more healthy than like I don't eat, for example, meat outside. I keep kosher, but I don't eat meat outside of Israel. Only in like kosher places because it's also like my religious, but I also really, really, it's like disgusting for me because it's like I don't know, I don't trust them.
Yeah. So do you consider, did you grow up pretty religious?
That's also an interesting story. So not really.
Okay.
My dad was very religious
Okay.
because my grandfather was very, very religious. They live in a religious moshave in the center. And when my dad joined the military, he like saw the world and he decided not to be religious anymore. And then he raised us with a lot of like we loved like as children to do Shabbats because it's like tradition, but we never really understood why we do Shabbat. We did Kiddush, we did all of these things, but we never really were connected. And like my brothers don't really keep kosher. My even my dad doesn't keep kosher, and I wasn't keeping kosher until October 7th.
Wow.
And on October 7th, because I got called to reserve. And about a month after, they told us we were in the south of Israel, but we were doing like retraining to basically, because for 4 years, we haven't even done anything related to medicine. And then after, they put us in the Gaza border, and they told us that we're going to treat people. And obviously, it's a dangerous place because you're at the border of war. So you're with all the explosions, with everything that is happening in Gaza. You're sleeping in the field. And I remember coming back home and I saw my rabbanit. It's like the wife of the rabbi. I don't know if not Jewish people will know that.
Yeah.
And she gave me a card of the rabbi with the blessing of Tfilat HaDerech. And I put this with me in my pocket my entire reserve service. I never like left it outside of me, outside of my clothes. And I experienced a lot of moments when I really felt like God is watching over me and he's deciding that I'm being safe now. And a lot of times there you hear the explosion from Gaza. You're terrified because it was in the beginning of the war and nobody knew, what if a terrorist now is going to come at me and through a tunnel, because you're right there. You're like literally, like you can walk to Gaza. And I remember even one time we had an RPG almost hit us, and it was terrifying because we are white ambulance, and a white ambulance is a target in war fairs, and it missed us. So all the time throughout this war, I saw miracles. I saw miracles also to other people that are happening. And something, I don't really know how to explain it, but something inside me just like changed. And I felt like there's like if you like turn off the light, this is how I felt inside me. And because I wasn't keeping kosher at all, so I just decided to like take small baby steps. And now I do a lot more things that I thought I will. I keep fully kosher. I light like Shabbat candles every Friday. I do a Farashat Challah every Friday. It's really meaningful to me. Like you go to the synagogue, like at least like at least on like Shabbat day. It's like every holiday. It's like it's things that I've never used to done before. So to me, it's like the war really completely changed my perspective about everything.
Yeah. Did it have a similar impact on a lot of your friends?
Some completely like also changed their life, but in like different areas. Like some in relationships, some in like working on themselves. To me, just like the spiritual awakening was bigger.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, especially for Israel, right? Because there's COVID, which was like crazy lockdowns in Israel.
Yeah.
And that was like at least 2 years. And then maybe you had like a year of like somewhat normal life.
Yeah.
And then October 7th happens, and the last 2 years essentially has been.
Like I still feel like I'm 24. It's like crazy because this past 2 years, it's like a blink of an eye. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I feel like every single person, because since October 7th, like we woke up, it feels like it's the same day, like in repeat. It's like, how is it possible that there's so much time?
Did you ever think it's so amazing, honestly. One of the beautiful things is like that you've been able to do is, like you said, you were insecure, you were shy, you had trouble looking someone in the eyes, right?
Yeah.
And now like your whole life is transmuting that pain and that insecurity into your life's purpose.
Yeah.
Which is such a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
You know, and I think you're going to continue inspiring other people to do that. You know, a lot of soldiers, when they finish their time in the army, they struggle with that.
Yeah.
Because their last 3, 4, 5, 10 years has been dedicated to serving and defending this land. What do you suggest? What do you recommend for people to do feeling lost, feeling disconnected after they complete their time in the military, right?
Yeah.
Are there any journaling exercises or like questions they can ask themselves? For you, what is something that helped you step into that next level of purpose?
You mean like my advocacy work? How did I? So
exactly.
It was also like I think the best advice is like to trust life, and life will take you to exactly the place that you're supposed to be.
Bitachon.
Bitachon, yeah.
This is my theme. Bitachon. Yeah.
That's it. Like, because you really need to trust. Like now I feel like I trust God, and he knows exactly what's the end of the road for me. He knows exactly like when I'm sad, why it's happening to me. When you're like crying in your house, don't know what happened. Like everything is for the best, everything. And I remember how I stepped into advocacy. It was also like a coincidence because I was in my military base and one of my friends were like, weren't you like Miss Israel or something? I was like, yes. And then he told me, you're supposed to be bringing world peace. And that was funny. So we were like, oh my God, let's do a video for like with the same like catchphrase. So we did it. Like one day after we were like, hi, I'm Noa, I'm Miss Israel. And then like we filmed like everybody knows that beauty queen's goal in life is to achieve world peace.
Yeah.
And then like it was like a cut and I was there in an IDF full-on uniform and the Miss Israel sash.
Such a good video. I have it right here.
And that was like a transition moment for me because all of a sudden I realized that I have a platform here to show that Israeli women are both. We are strong, but we are also feminine at the same time. So we can do both. And then I realized that I have a platform, I have a voice, I can use my voice, and I can have I saw the comments from Jewish girls. They told me that it really inspired them to see this video. So it just like a switch in my mind, and I realized I wasn't sure what I'm doing at the same time because it was the beginning of the war. But we just decided to do more videos, film more content about Israel. And then I found myself like almost every day doing something that is related to Israel. And now it's my full-time job, which is the best job ever because I'm fighting for Israel. So what can be better?
Yeah. It seems like something that you've also been able to do, even though like we haven't had the chance to get to know each other so well, but just like my intuition tells me that you've also been able to like lean into that feminine energy.
Yeah.
Which seems like a struggle for a lot of Israeli women.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the tough upbringing, the constant state of war, serving in the military, but there's this like hyper independence. Like Israeli women, like Israeli, and I've actually had a great experience with them this time I've been here, but I think it's also a product of like me doing so much work on myself and having the communication skills and emotional intelligence to communicate in a healthy way. But like I see a lot of American guys come here and they're like, trying to hit on Israeli girls, and it's just, it's just
It's
like,
really funny.
yeah, it's funny to witness. It's funny to witness, and I think Israeli women have this reputation for being very tough,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What are some things that you've done within yourself to tap more into your feminine energy while still remaining really strong?
So a big influence for me was my mom. My mom is basically the baddest woman you will ever meet in your life. She has like really the most crazy self-esteem I've ever seen in my life. She's the most confident person you will ever meet. And she basically built herself by herself. She went to first degree, second degree. She became a psychologist. She's treating people and she's very successful psychologist only because of herself. So I watched my mom since I was a little girl going to work every single day, but at the same time cooking for us breakfast, dinner, and lunch. Wow. And she showed me that it's okay to be a very strong woman, but at the same time to be a very feminine, because she was always like dressing up in heels. I wasn't really into like heels and everything that she used to love. Now I love everything. But she taught me that it's okay to be very strong, very powerful, and feminine. So it's like something that I grew up learning from my mom. She's a very big influence on my life. And she just taught me that it's okay like to combine between these things. You don't have to choose like either one of them. You can just combine them, and because this is I think the most beautiful thing about women, because we are capable of everything, because we are capable to actually like, I don't know, like about men, like for real, I don't think there's anything that you guys can do that will ever compete with the fact that we are actually raising a human being inside our body. Like this is like, you can never compete with that. I'm sorry. So like only this one thing that is like everything, it's like this will give you the most feminine energy in the world, because this is women. We are here, and without us, the world will never be existing.
Yeah, this is. I'm so glad you're mentioning this, because this is something that I don't think men fully comprehend. Like, it's impossible for us to fully understand it. But even women, I think, sometimes underestimate their own
femininity,
their own divinity. Like, women have a womb. They have this powerful portal to the infinite. You are literally bringing life on this planet.
It's really insane. It's something the human mind can't understand. And because we are women, so we can't understand it. But at the same time, I feel like we can feel it. We can feel that we are actually in charge, and we are women, and we can do whatever we want, because we can actually deliver a baby. So we can do every single thing that we want and we want to achieve.
Yeah. And yeah, women are capable of infinite possibility. Yeah. And I think that makes it sometimes challenging for men to understand.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of women are always aware that there's more. Like there's more possibility.
Yeah.
Like more abundance, more joy, more love. Like and sometimes it's like overwhelming. Like, oh wow. But when I see a woman, like by the way, this isn't meant to be inappropriate, but like, do you know what a MILF is? Obviously you do, right? Israel, Tel Aviv.
Really?
Tel Aviv is literally the MILF capital of the world. Like, I'll go on the Tayelet walks on Sunset, and I see these women pushing their strollers, and they'll have like 3 or 4 kids. It's not just one. And they are so beautiful, and like they've maintained an amazing physique. And I'm like, there's something different here. Like the water, there's something different that it blows my mind. It blows my mind because it's such a small country, but the amount of like unbelievably gorgeous women and mothers, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, only because of this reason, I wish so many people will come here. They will just like fall in love with an Israeli and be like, oh, okay. Only if they're Jewish though. But actually, it's very funny because I'm getting a lot of like messages from people that are, I don't know what their opinion are, but I'm getting tons of messages like, oh, if this is the IDF, I love the IDF. So it's really funny.
So what's your perspective? Because you're dating like an American
Yeah.
who has Israeli roots. Do you think most Israeli women like American guys? Do you think it is like a dream for them to maybe have a home in America and Israel and like build a family and raise the kids in both places?
I think it's a little bit different. It's like I wasn't looking for like a boyfriend when I met my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Obviously because I was after war, I didn't want to like commit to anything. But when it's like true love, you have to say yes.
Yeah.
But I think Israeli women, there's like, it's like, you can't say like all of them, but we really like, we saw High School Musical. We were like obsessed with Zac Efron. We were like all of these
Okay.
things. We love American boys, like, but at the same time, it's like, it's hard because there's a lot of cultural differences between Israelis and Americans that I don't think can be compromised.
Yeah.
It's even like the mentality of Israeli men. But obviously, Israeli men has also a lot to learn from American men.
What do you think is the biggest thing that Israeli men can learn from American
Oh my
men?
God, courtesy, like being chivalrous. They have zero chivalrousness inside of them in Israeli men. It's like actually insane. It's really funny.
So American men tend to have much better manners.
Yeah, much better manners.
Yeah, I've been told that many times.
Yeah.
Okay, and what do you think is the biggest thing that American men can learn from Israeli men?
Oh, okay. So in America, it's really annoying. Like they're so dumb. You start dating somebody and then you're speaking to him for like a few days. You're like texting and then you're seeing each other. No, you're not even seeing each other. You're dating and then you're seeing each other. And then after you're seeing each other, you're exclusive. Not even a relationship. You're exclusive when you agree not to date another person, which is insane. And then you're maybe if you have like a year after you start to be boyfriend and girlfriend. In Israel, you can literally go to like the fifth date, in your house with your family, and it's like, come with my family, and nothing will happen. But you're just like, they're more chill, like Israeli guys. They're like it's so much better. But it's really crazy with all the rules that American. I think it's like the culture in America about like
Yeah.
dating, and it's such a dumb thing. I'm sorry. Like if you met somebody and you like him, just be together. Like okay, you'll break up, but why all this like definitions and the scare of commitment?
Titles.
It's crazy.
I think, yeah, that seems to make sense. It seems like from what I've been told, though, people in Tel Aviv also are pretty bad at commitment.
Yes, they are.
Tel Aviv is like a cesspool.
Yeah, I'm like putting Tel Aviv aside because it's their own country.
Okay. Tel Aviv
Aviv
is,
is
I
like-
guess, like the equivalent of Miami.
Yeah, I
Like,
would say.
in some ways.
Yes, I think so. Because like in Tel Aviv, I feel like a lot of people, they love the life of like going out at nights, and they love like living with roommates and like having party every night and going to restaurants and having the best time of their life and dating multiple people. And then they wake up at like also like 34, still single and still like having the same life because they were having so much fun and they forgot to find somebody. But I grew up in a moshave, so I didn't really lived in Tel Aviv. So I feel like it's a different mentality.
I think a big reason why, correct me if I'm wrong, that there's a lot of people who do that, who are like, and it's the same thing anywhere. Like there's plenty of people in America, other parts of the world, where like you're numbing yourself and you're
Yeah.
partying and you're like, oh shit.
You woke up in the middle of the day and you're like, I'm like, I haven't done anything with myself.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm not really growing as a person. I'm working a job that I hate. I'm surrounded by people that aren't necessarily the best influence, right? I would say probably in Israel, a big reason for that is a lot of people after the military
They wanna escape.
they don't really have the proper. I'm actually pretty shocked by the lack of integration and support that this country like gives its
Yeah.
soldiers. I know there's a lot of great programs out there and they're doing more to improve the situation, but the amount of soldiers I've met literally who were in Gaza 2 days earlier and
Yeah.
now they're like supposed to just be with their family and friends and live a normal life. I'm like, this is absolute insanity.
Yeah.
Like
It's really hard.
How do you expect a 21-year-old kid to just be in Gaza, see some absolutely crazy things, and then come back and live a normal life
Yeah.
2 days later? What are some things that you think we can do to support those people more?
First of all, we need to understand that they are everywhere. Every single person has PTSD, not even just soldiers. Children that have PTSD from the sirens, from especially after Iran's attack, especially after October 7th. It's every single place that you'll go. PTSD is like all over Israel. Obviously, like I'm not an expert, but I really think we need to get like from the government, we need to get real solution. We need to get help for these people. There's so many soldiers out there that don't really get help. They don't really get psychologists help. I remember when I was released from the military, they did had a lot of things to like give us, or for example, after every event, we did like when I was in the military, after every event that happened, we did like a circle with like psychologists, and we were trying to like process things. But it's just like a one-time thing. It's like a band-aid. You can't really fix things with a band-aid. You need to like actually go to the clinic and sew your skin and like put some, like
Get to the root
yeah.
cause.
So we need. I hope that someday every soldier will have access to real PTSD care and to real therapists, because it's expensive and they can't really afford it. So I really think they should be getting a lot of, first of all, benefits. I don't think they're getting enough. Our soldiers are literally sacrificing their life, and not only their life, their mental being. Because they are every single soldier that is living in the military. It's for him for life. It's like a scar in your mind that you will never be able to fix. So they deserve really the world, and I really wish we can give them everything they want.
Yeah. What do you feel like is something that you're most excited for personally and professionally? I feel like you're just on like such a beautiful journey where you're going to be able to just help impact so many people, because you have such a unique background.
Thank you.
And it's incredible. And I think it's so necessary to have your voice out in the world. What are you feeling most connected to right now in terms of your spending time in the US? Like, what are you enjoying most right now? And then, like, what is something maybe you're really excited about moving forward?
So I'll start it with a story, because it's something really interesting that is connected to what I do now. I once spoke in a school. I think they were like 12 years old girls. And I went and I spoke with them about being Miss Israel in the military and like being an Israeli girl. And then 3 months after, I was in a gala and like in a Jewish event, and I met one of the dads of the girls that went to that school, and he came to me and he said, "You're Miss Israel, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And he stopped me and he said, "I want to say thank you, but not for doing advocacy online, not for your service. Like, I'm sure that you're getting these thank yous all the time. I want to say thank you because the day that my daughter got back from school, she told me, 'Dad, I just had a conversation with Noah and I want to go to Israel. I want to do Aliyah. I want to join the military. I want to be a combat medic like Noah.'" And that was for me like my like tipping point, because it just, I remember like I called my dad and I was in tears when I told this to him, because this is a 12 years old girl and she lived in America her entire life, and I inspired her to do Aliyah. So I felt like this is like such a powerful tool that I got, and I'm like a tube that is supposed to like deliver these messages to people. And then all of a sudden I just like something within me changed, and then now it's what I do all the time. I go and I speak to Jewish communities, and I speak to Jewish women and girls and schools, and it's really the most powerful thing that we can do is to, first of all, inspire people to love Israel even more and to be there for us, to stand with us. And it's really the most important things right now, especially in the world, especially with all the hate that we're getting. So we need to take the love that we're getting and amplify it, and just make sure that like keep the flame all the time there. So I'm really excited. I love doing these things, and I love speaking about Israel. And I speak about Israel with literally every person that I get, even if I'm just like in Starbucks. I remember like the day that I left, I had a Starbucks there's a Starbucks in the airport and I spoke with a with the person, and she was like, "Oh, Noah, that's an interesting name. I've never heard." And I told her right away, "I'm from Israel," because it's really interesting for me to see what she's like going to say. And she was like, "Wow, that's so interesting." And we just had a random 10 minutes conversation about Israel, and it's really important because we really like this is what's inspired me the most, just to continue speaking up about Israel, not just in social media. This is what people don't understand. It's like you don't have to have like a lot of followers to speak about Israel. You can have like 0 followers and go and speak with your neighbor and go to speak with your girl next door, or like the people in Starbucks, your person that is sitting next to you in school. It doesn't really matter because every person is a platform of their own. And if you're convincing somebody else and if you're getting into somebody, who knows who this person will speak next. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Damn. I got really like, I don't know if you could see, but I was like tearing up in my eyes. It's very hard to make me cry, and I was like this close to like tears coming down. No, that's an amazing story. I think you're an amazing role model for, I mean, honestly, especially yes, Jewish women, but like women in general. There's a lack of that leadership in the world, you know. I think it's something for you to lean into, like, even more. I think, like, I have already so many ideas. I have some great people to connect you with. My friend Liz Kennedy, who's in Miami, she does like
I think I met her in like a dinner for influencers.
Yeah, you guys should definitely connect. I'll connect you guys. But I think I have so many content ideas for you. Like that, I think
I'd love that because it's really hard to think of content idea.
I think it's a lot of it is taking a step back and not assuming that anyone knows anything about anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, yeah, even Jewish people just lack the awareness sometimes. I think it's good that you're in America right now. I think
right now, not for life. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I will never be able to raise my children in America.
Right?
No.
And the Israeli kids are, by the way, the Israeli kids are so, there's something so peaceful for me when I wake up and I go for like a morning walk to a coffee shop and I hear like a young child speaking Hebrew. It's like medicine.
It's the best.
It's a beautiful soundtrack, you know? Like they're so cute and they're also way more equipped for life.
Yeah.
You'll see them like 3 or 4 years old, like just by themselves, like at the beach or at one of the gyms by the beach, and they're just like running around. They're being a kid. Yeah,
they're being a kid. Like growing up in Israel, obviously it's tough because you have wars and everything, but I'm not even talking about this. I'm like, you can go to your backyard and have like a play date with your friends and then just go outside your house and your parents will trust your friends, and it's completely different. You grew up and you're like way more free that you will be in any other country, I feel like, because you can just like you feel like everybody's siblings. So it's like, I don't know, this is how I feel. Maybe because I grew up in a moshave, so I'm a little bit, maybe I'm oblivious, but growing up in my moshave, it's exactly like this. You're like walking barefoot with your friends in the middle of the day. You're just like walking around your moshave. It doesn't really matter because you really have this like sense of freedom all over you.
What's the biggest difference between a moshav and a kibbutz? Because I went to a moshav last summer, like near Netanya. I can't remember what the name was. Yeah, can you like what's that lifestyle like growing up on a moshav?
So, I think first the definition, like I think like the differences is like kibbutz is more like a shareable place. There's like a stronger community, and maybe people. I don't think now they do it. There are some kibbutzim that still do it, but most of them I think not. I don't know if I'm right about this, but they like all the agriculture is like happening from people that live there. And in my moshav, it's just like my parents really love the moshav, so they just came to the moshav and decided to like get a place there and to raise their children there. And in kibbutz, you have to like be like somebody that from your family was in the kibbutz, so to enter. But to grow up in a moshav, it's like the most beautiful thing ever. It's like grew up with animals. We had horses.
How many
dogs,
people were on the moshav?
Like 800 people.
Oh wow! Is that?
That's it. It's very small. It's like everybody knows everybody. Everybody gossip about everybody. It's really funny. It's like if something happens to you, everybody knows. Um, but it's a real fun like community feeling because every get together, everybody's like knowing each other and talking to each other. So it's different because I feel like in a city, it's like you can't really know all the people that are living in your city, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. But in my moshave, like you walk in the street and you know the neighbor, you know like the people. So it's like it's nice for me like to go back to my moshave after spending like 5 months in America. It's like the best because I feel home.
That's where you're staying now,
Yeah.
for the most part. How much longer are you in town, by the way?
Until the 7th of September.
Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. Question: do you have
Unfortunately.
anything? Unfortunately, like
Yeah.
too soon.
Too soon.
Is there anything that we haven't spoken about that you really want to?
Maybe about I think we spoke a little bit about like American Jews and, right?
Not so much.
We can speak about
But
it.
I do think what you said is so super important, by the way. Sorry for interrupting you.
Oh,
but but like two things. There's two messages that I think are really important. The first one is I see so many people from America, Canada, Europe visiting Israel and not doing anything to make it a better place. Like they come here, they eat the food.
Like as
they
a
go to
tourist only.
Exactly. They eat the food, they go to the beaches, they go out at night. That's amazing. Like enjoy all of the magic that is Israel. And I feel like if you're coming here, you have an obligation to bring something positive to the people here, whether that's like financially or whether that's just bringing positive energy by volunteering. But it's doing something to add value, you know? Like, and it goes such a long way. Like the people in Israel really appreciate it when they see someone come to visit and
course.
like doing something positive, not just coming to like exploit things.
Yeah, no. So when we were in the border, we got tons of like barbecue American Jews that came to do barbecues for us. And for me, I remember like we always looked at this like women with like Chanel bags in the middle of like Gaza.
Yeah.
And we looked at them and we were like, whoa, these women came all the way from America, which is like a lot of flights, like 12 hours of flight, just to like barbecue us soldiers. And they have no idea who we are. So it's like a feeling that we are not alone anymore.
Yeah.
It's like a feeling that these people care so much about us that they just like go above and beyond to make us happy. And I really felt that. And I really like, I remember like 3 weeks after the war, we got 20 brand new BMW ambulances from like American Jews.
Wow.
And as Israelis, obviously, we checked the prices and we were like, oh my God, these American Jews.
They're probably like, what, 150, 200K each?
Yeah, something like this.
Yeah.
But for us, it's like shekels, so it's like a lot more.
Sure.
So in our mind, whoa, these American Jews spent tons of money just to make sure that we can save lives. So it's like something that make you feel all of a sudden like your mind is blowing up because for me as an Israeli, I've always lived here. So I take Israel a little bit for granted. I love Israel. It's like the best place ever, but I take it a little bit for granted because I grew up here. And then to see so many people wearing their Star of David in America, coming to help us, doing really above and beyond, because the Jewish community has done like above and beyond, just to make sure that Israel will continue to survive, and not only surviving, but thriving. And I think there are a lot of like American Jews that help. Maybe not enough, but they do. They help a lot.
Yeah.
This is like the way I see it. But also the way I see, like, if you come here and you're helping the economic and you're buying things. So like, I think like, even if you're like not volunteering, you just like go spend your money in like a random coffee place. Don't go to like the big American chains. Like go to like a boutique hotel owned by a soldier maybe. Like there's so many places here in Israel that they have a story. If you go to like a coffee place that was hit by a rocket and you go support them, so go like buy a full-on meal and just like spend all of your money at his place and not in like a KFC or I started to open here like McDonald's because it's like American chains. Go support like local businesses, like local Israeli businesses, like tiny places. By the way, it's like the best places because you...
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting too because I think Israel is one of the only countries that Starbucks was not
Starbucks coffee is
successful
so
with.
bad.
It's horrible.
It's
like,
horrible.
listen, you go to America and like you pay $6 for a Starbucks and it's laced with a bunch of sugar
Yeah.
and it's very mediocre coffee.
Yeah.
You come to Israel,
Best coffee ever.
oh my gosh. It's almost so good to the point where it's like, it's just so normal for me. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
they serve it in a glass,
Yes.
which I'm convinced makes it taste better.
Yeah.
And then they have like the chocolate balls, the date balls. It's unreal.
Everything is but just better in here.
My soul, the way that I would describe it, because I've been sharing so much of this, like I'm for the most part, a positive, happy person. I didn't realize how unhappy I was until coming here. Like my soul feels so
Wow.
much more alive in Israel. Like every single day feels like such a blessing. Like my worst day in Israel would be better than my best day in Miami.
Wow.
And that's because I truly just feel so much more present here. I feel so much more connected to the people. I feel just so grateful for like every single experience, like every bite of food, like
Yeah.
every walk through the shuk, like every conversation just feels more meaningful.
Yeah. I
And
understand.
and it's like I hope there's so many American Jews that have never even been here.
Yeah. I really hope you're like, because what you're doing basically is to inspire other American Jews to come here to Israel. This is how I see it. Like, because you're showing them like what it means like to actually be in Israel, not just to come to like stay at like the David or I don't know, the Norman or something and go to like the best restaurants. No, you need to come here. You need to like experience the actual people. You need to like go to the random places, like to really experience Israel, because then you will have the best time of your life. It's not a regular, I feel like it's not like Paris or like Milan that you'll just need to go to the best places. Here you need to go and just to experience Israel.
Yeah.
That's it. Just to like you do, like to live here.
I have zero FOMO for all of, like everyone like goes on their Euro summer trip, right? Like they're in Italy, they're in Greece. Listen, I've been to those places. They're fun. They're great.
But it's different.
Israel's the only place I desire to be right now. Like
Yeah.
literally, like I see zero FOMO. I'm like, especially as a Jewish person, I'm like, bro, I get it. Greece is fun, like nice parties, nice beaches. Have you been to Tel Aviv? Like, have you been here? Like, it's by far the best. And then when
Yeah.
you go out anywhere, like I don't even go out to clubs in Miami. But here I'm like, yo, I can go out to a club and everyone around me is Jewish.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
It's the best. It's really the best. It's so fun that you can. It's because in America it's so hard. I feel like because you just walk and you feel like you not belong there. You don't belong there. You belong here. This is our ancestors' home. So like we belong here.
Yeah.
It's like a strong feeling of like this is why your soul feel like you're home here, because for like 3,000 plus years this is where we're supposed to be. This is where the Jewish people belong to be, and this is something that people should get into their stupid minds, that we will be here forever and we are here forever, so that's our home.
Yeah. I call it neshama awakened. Like my soul has been awakened.
Oh my God.
You
I
know?
love this. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any final words that you'd like to share with the people watching, listening?
I think we said a lot of things.
I think this is gonna be so good. We're gonna have so many good like micro content.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. I'm really
I
grateful.
love it. I'm really excited. It was so fun also to speak about things that are not just like, oh, you were Miss Israel, like what it's like to represent Israel in Miss Israel. Because
Yeah, listen, I know it's a big part of your story and your
yeah,
journey.
but it's like a little bit. It's like I feel like it gave me the platform, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know you'll be on other podcasts and you'll talk about that more,
No, but that was like a fun conversation. I was like at a moment I was like, are we being filmed?
Yeah.
I forgot it's a
That's
podcast.
the best. That's why I love podcasting so much, because it's so rare that you have like an hour or an hour and a half to talk to someone
Yeah.
and just be fully present, and you're undistracted, and it's like whatever happens. It's like
Yeah.
Ani Zorev, right?
Yeah.
I'm flowing.
Yes, Zorem.
Zorem, Ani Zorem.
Yes.
Ani Zorem.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to talk to you in like 3 months to see where your Hebrew is at.
Yeah. I have
This will be
another class
amazing.
tomorrow. So, no, I really just want to acknowledge you because what you're doing is absolutely incredible. Your story is so inspiring, and like it's just getting started. That's what's so exciting. I hope you understand that, and I hope you take time to really be proud of yourself for everything that you've experienced, all of the people that you've impacted in a positive way, and you know, it's really beautiful to witness. And I'm honored that I had the chance to connect with you and
Thank you
do
so
this.
much.
Yeah. And I hope this is just the beginning of a friendship. And yeah, I'm here to support you in any way possible. So
You're
thank
the
you so
best.
much. Yes.
Thank you.
Much love, everybody.
Love Israel.
From Tel Aviv.
The best
Love you.
place. Come
And,
visit Israel. That's it. I think this is like the headline.
Come.
Just come to Israel.
You did it. You made it to the end of the show. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, your support in listening to this podcast. And really, my mission here is to deliver the best conversations, the best people, so you can continue elevating and becoming the best version of yourself. And all that I ask in return is that you actually take action on the things that we talk about in these conversations, whether it's certain habits to implement or certain thought patterns or belief systems that you want to reprogram and remove from your life. I just want to remind you that your life is your gift and you are the creator. You are the main character of your movie. So please take action on these things we discuss. And tag me on social media. Tag me on Instagram in your stories at Jeremy Awakens. Let me know what stood out the most to you. Let me know what were some powerful moments for you from this conversation. And finally, if you haven't already done so, it would mean the world if you left a review for the podcast. Word of mouth is our oxygen. This is what allows us to reach more people and impact more lives. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you next time.